Meir Simcha of Devinsk, the Meshech Chachma, asked an unbelievable question. In Parashas Mishpatim, it says, Ki sifka shar oivecha, oichamorei toya hashev tishivenu loi. If you encounter an ox of your enemy or his donkey wandering, you should return it to him. Fine. What is the guy called? Oivecha, your enemy. In Parashas Ki Saitzai, this is unbelievable. Parashas Ki Saitzai, it says the same thing. You should not see the ox of your brother or his sheep or goat fall away and hide yourself for it. You should return them. Same idea. But over here, the guy's called Achicha, your brother. He says, why over here in Mishpatim is he called Oivecha, your enemy? And why is it called in Ki Saitzai, your brother? So he says like this. The Gemara asks in Arvei Psachim, you have an enemy? You're not allowed to have an enemy. You're not allowed to hate somebody. So what kind of an enemy? Says the Gemara, you know what it's talking about? You know what kind of an enemy it is? A Jewish enemy, a spiritual enemy. You saw him with your own eyes sinning, and therefore you're allowed to hate him. So we're not talking about a guy who you don't like for whatever reason. We're talking about a religious battle over here, a religious thing, that the type of person that you're allowed to hate because you see him, that he's a sinner. Mutter l'snaisai. You're allowed to hate him, and then you see him, that he's struggling with his donkey. You're supposed to help him even though you saw him sin, which is a nice lesson to understand, that even if you finally found somebody that you're allowed to hate, but if he needs help, you're still supposed to help him. Says Ramey Simcha, this is unbelievable. So he says, so why over here is he called Oivecha, your enemy, and over there he's called Achicha, your brother? So he says, you know why? Because in Mishpatim, it was before the ego. We were all on a spiritual high. We just had the revelation of Har Sinai. We just saw Hashem, Anochi Hashem Alekecha. We were tzaddikim. On that level, we were Mamleches Kohanim V'Goy Kodesh. And then you see a person sin, so yes, you're allowed to hate him. Because you're so holy. You're so holy, and you see somebody sinning, yes, you have a right to hate him. He says, but by the time it goes all the way to Parashas Ki Saitzai, after the whole story, after the ego, we all sinned. Now, if you see your friend sin, you think you're allowed to hate him? Check yourself out. Ein tzaddik ba'aretz asher ya'asa tov v'lo yechteh. You're not so great yourself. If you check yourself and you put the magnifying on your own self, you'll find many things that you fell and you stumble. You're not the biggest tzaddik in the world. Zeb prat zeb, zeb prat zeb. One person has problems with his midos. One person has anger, which is like avodah zarah. One person is this. Everyone has a problem. So lachein aser lisnai ish kazeh. Again, lachein aser lisnai ish kazeh. It's aser, forbidden to hate that person. Everybody says, well, what about, you're supposed to hate somebody who's sinning against Hashem. Yeah, when you're a tzaddik, you could think about it. And by the way, the tzaddikim don't. The tzaddikim always loved, like the Nesiv Shalom says, the bigger the tzaddik, yachal lehoiv harasha hagadol b'yoser. The bigger the tzaddik loves, the bigger the rasha. But us, you, me, with all of our rap sheet of sin, we're going to go ahead and use Hashem, where I hate you in the name of God? Who do you think you are? See that? Unbelievable. He says, by Matan Torah, before the ego, we were so holy, and you saw someone, and also they sinned in a situation where there was so much open holiness. So yes, you're allowed to hate him. You're allowed to. You're not mechuyev to hate him, by the way. Mutter l'snoise. And even that guy that the Torah allows you to hate, you have to help him if he needs your help. Okay? But after their sin was introduced, we're all sinners. Ein tzaddik ba'aretz asher ya'asa tov v'lo yechteh. So you're going to say, no, but I'm allowed to hate him because he's a bigger sinner. Right? Like that t-shirt. Don't hate me because I sin differently than you. Don't judge me because I sin differently than you. So you are Russia in that. You do Lashon Hara. You do that. And they have their struggle and sneers. You're going to compare? You didn't have such a bad life. You're going to be judged much worse. They went through trauma. They went through abuse, whatever. You don't know in Shemayim who's bigger and who's less big. So asur l'snai ish kazeh. So why am I so excited about this? Because a lot of people say, what about, you're allowed to hate the sinner. And here he says, Rameir Simcha from Dvinsk, Lachein asur l'snai ish kazeh. The same guy that over here, he didn't change. He was an Oivecha. He was a sinner in Pashas Mishpatim, and he's a sinner in Ki Saitzai. He didn't. We changed. We changed. We fell from our grace. We're not so perfect that we are allowed to hate other people because they sin. And not only we're not so perfect that we're allowed to hate them, the opposite. It's asur for us to hate them. Asur for us to hate them.